Welcome back to our channel, everyone. I have to tell you, looking ahead at the week of August 17th through the 21st, my heart is already racing with anticipation. The upcoming episodes of General Hospital are shaping up to be an absolute roller coaster of emotions, filled with dark schemes, hidden agendas, and moments that will surely leave us on the edge of our seats. It feels like every single corner of Port Charles is brewing with some kind of intense conflict, and I am just so eager to talk about all the mind games and fierce confrontations that are coming our way. There is something so captivating about watching these characters we have known for years navigate such treacherous waters, and this week promises to deliver that classic edge-of-your-seat drama that keeps us coming back day after day. Let us start by talking about Jack Brennan, because his current situation has me completely captivated and honestly quite worried. Brennan is showing such a fierce determination to help Nina Reeves and Willow Kane, and while a part of me finds his loyalty incredibly touching, another part of me is screaming at the television screen about the massive risks he is taking. We all know that getting tangled up in the complicated web of Nina and Willow's lives is never a simple task. Brennan is putting absolutely everything on the line for Nina and her daughter, and I cannot help but feel a deep sense of dread about what this might cost him. It is always so moving to see someone step up as a protector, but in a town like this, playing the hero often comes with a very heavy price tag. The tension only gets thicker when you look at the escalating conflict between Willow and Michael Corinthos. My heart just aches watching a marriage go through such bitter turmoil. As the arguments between Willow and Michael grow louder and more damaging, Brennan is finding himself pulled even deeper into the crossfire. I watch these scenes and I just think about how fragile relationships can be when trust starts to fracture. Brennan stepping in as the situation with Michael worsens means he is placing himself right in the middle of a very volatile family dynamic. I am so anxious to see how Michael will react to Brennan's interference, and I truly fear that Brennan is risking his own safety and future just to keep Nina and Willow from falling apart. Meanwhile, on a completely different side of town, the upcoming auction of Jen Sidwell's assets is bringing a whole new level of suspense to the screen. Auctions in Port Charles are never just about money. They are about power, pride, and settling old scores. I can already feel the electricity in the room just thinking about it. The sheer amount of wealth and dangerous secrets tied up in Sidwell's estate guarantees that this event is going to be packed with shocking surprises. I love when the show brings all the heavy hitters into one room, because you just know that underneath the fancy suits and polite smiles, there is a ruthless battle waiting to explode. Speaking of heavy hitters, the fact that Sonny Corinthos, Valentine Cassadine, and Drew Kane are all circling this auction like sharks in the water makes this storyline incredibly delicious. These are three men who absolutely refuse to lose, and throwing them into a bidding war over Sidwell's assets is a recipe for pure fireworks. I can just picture Sonny's quiet, intimidating glare, Valentine's smooth and calculated smirks, and Drew's stubborn determination clashing beautifully. It is fascinating to watch these powerful men try to outmaneuver one another. I am sitting here wondering who will actually walk away with the prize, and more importantly, what kind of dangerous enemies the winner will make in the process. But what really tugs at my heartstrings right now is the journey Sonny and Jason are on as they try to leave the criminal underworld behind. Oh, how long have we waited to see these two try to find some peace? It is such a monumental shift for their characters, but I know deep down that walking away from the mob is never a clean break. The road to a normal life is going to be paved with so many dangerous obstacles, and my stomach ties in knots just thinking about the trouble that is surely coming their way. The past always has a way of knocking on the door when you least expect it, and I am so nervous for them. Despite all the hurdles and the looming threats, there is something so profoundly beautiful about Jason and Sonny's unwavering determination to protect their loved ones. As they step onto this new, unfamiliar path, their primary focus remains the safety of their family. It reminds me of why I have loved these characters for so many years. Beneath all the tough exteriors and the dark history, they are fierce protectors. I just hope and pray that their desire to build a safer life does not end up putting the very people they love in even greater danger. It is a heartbreaking paradox, and I am glued to the screen waiting to see how they navigate this impossible transition. Taking a step away from the mob drama, the corporate battlefield over at Deception is giving us some truly spectacular daytime drama. The brewing war between Tracy Quartermaine and Lucy Coe is everything I love about this show. Tracy is an absolute force of nature, and seeing her clash with Lucy over Serena Baldwin's involvement is just fantastic television. Tracy is always so fiercely protective of her family's legacy, while Lucy is never afraid to play dirty if it means getting what she wants. The friction between these two strong, stubborn women is so entertaining, and I find myself eagerly waiting to see who will outsmart the other in this high-stakes game of corporate chess. The situation with Serena Baldwin is where things get truly manipulative, and I have to admit, it makes me a little angry on Michael's behalf. Michael is already dealing with so much heartbreak after kicking Jacinda Bracken out of his life. He is vulnerable, hurting, and in desperate need of a genuine friend. Instead, it looks like Serena is going to swoop in and use his pain to her advantage. Lucy, in her typical unapologetic fashion, is actually encouraging her daughter to capitalize on Michael's breakup to snatch up his shares. It is such a cold, calculating move. I sit here shaking my head, feeling so bad for Michael, who might just mistake Serena's comforting words for genuine affection when it is really all about business and greed. Serena, cozying up to Michael and acting as his shoulder to cry on, is a classic, devious soap opera move, and I am entirely swept up in the drama of it all. It is so easy to see how a heartbroken man could fall into that trap, and I find myself wanting to reach through the screen and warn him. The emotional manipulation is just so thick, and watching Serena play the role of the sweet comforter while harboring such a selfish agenda is both frustrating and incredibly compelling to watch. I am so curious to see if Michael will see through the act or if he will hand over his trust and his shares to someone who is only looking out for herself. Then we have Hudson Parker, who is on a relentless quest for the truth, and his storyline is keeping me guessing at every turn. Hudson is absolutely determined to find answers about Delilah Wilson's baby, and his investigation is leading him straight to Ava Jerome. Now, we all know Ava is a master at keeping secrets and slipping out of tight spots, but Hudson seems ready to back her completely into a corner. Watching him apply the pressure to Ava to extract information is thrilling. Ava always has an agenda, and seeing her squirm under Hudson's intense questioning makes me wonder just how explosive this secret about Delilah's baby truly is. The dynamic between Hudson and Jocelyn Jacks is adding such an interesting layer to all of this. Jocelyn is tasked with approving the new CEO candidate, which means she is going to be spending a lot more time with Hudson. When you put two strong-willed, passionate young people in close quarters, the tension is bound to rise. I can already sense the sparks flying between them. It is that classic mix of professional friction and undeniable chemistry. I am smiling just thinking about it, because while they might butt heads over business, there is a very real possibility that some genuine romantic feelings could blossom as they spend all this time together. Of course, Jocelyn is never one to just sit back and wait for things to happen. Because Brennan is dragging his feet and delaying giving her a specific mission, our fiery Jocelyn is likely going to take matters into her own hands. I love her independent spirit, but it also makes me so nervous. If she starts suspecting that Hudson is actually a bad guy, she might just decide to create her own undercover assignment. The idea of Jocelyn flirting with Hudson as a way to investigate him is so dangerous. She is playing with fire, and while she thinks she can handle it, I am sitting here biting my nails, terrified that she is going to get in way over her head with a man who is clearly hiding some dark secrets. Speaking of young people struggling, my heart absolutely breaks for little Scout Quartermaine. She is carrying so much sadness and frustration right now because Drew continues to keep her away from her family, especially her brother Danny. It is so hard to watch a child feel isolated by the adults who are supposed to be protecting her. Drew's decisions are really pushing her to the brink, and I have a strong feeling that Scout is not going to take this quietly for much longer. She is a Quartermaine, after all, and I fully expect her to stand up and rebel against Drew's control sooner rather than later. In the midst of all her family turmoil, Scout is turning to Rocco Falconeri for comfort, and I have to say, it is the sweetest little silver lining in this heavy storyline. Seeing these two young teenagers confiding in each other brings such a warm, nostalgic feeling to my heart. They are both dealing with the messy lives of their parents, and finding solace in one another is just beautiful. I am definitely keeping a close eye on these two, waiting to see if this sweet friendship blossoms into a tender, innocent teen romance. It is exactly the kind of heartfelt, generational storytelling that makes me love this show so deeply. Across town, the suspense is reaching an absolute fever pitch with Harrison Chase's investigation. Chase is such a good, dedicated detective, and his determination to dig deeper into the hit-and-run accident that injured Jordan Ashford is commendable. But oh, the anxiety I feel watching this unfold. Because as Chase gets closer to the truth about who fled the scene, the clues are pointing dangerously close to his own wife, Brooklyn Quartermaine. The sheer panic that must be gripping Brooklyn's heart is unimaginable. Watching her grapple with the terrifying fear that her own husband might be the one to uncover her dark secret is agonizing. I am so worried about what this will do to their marriage once the truth finally comes out. And if that was not enough to keep me awake at night, the chilling situation with Trina Robinson is absolutely terrifying. The idea that someone is lurking in the shadows, watching Trina's every move, gives me goosebumps. This unseen stalker clearly has a sinister agenda, and the fact that they want to eliminate Kai Taylor puts him in immediate mortal danger. I find myself holding my breath during Trina's scenes, just waiting for the stalker to strike. The suspense of not knowing when or where this threat will emerge is incredibly well done, but it is so hard to watch our sweet Trina be the target of such dark obsession.